everybody! Welcome back to Adobe Live. This is our very first Illustrator live stream of 2020.
Yay!
So thanks for joining us. My name is Gus Martin. I work behind the scenes here at Adobe. I also do some drawing and some things on the side, but most importantly, I'm a fisherman. And I'm joined by our wonderful guest, Julia Masalska.
Hey!
This is her third time with us. Julia, do you want to tell them a bit about yourself?
Yeah, well, I'm a graphic designer currently located in Denver, Colorado. I've been working in design for about 4.5 years, working for different industries, so I'm very excited today to create something on Adobe Live.
We are super pumped. So she's going to be doing some branding and working in Illustrator, making logos today. Tomorrow, there's going to be some mock-ups and some Photoshop and maybe even some dimensions. So you're going to want to stick around for both live streams. But first, we have some housekeeping that I want to take care of because you're here, you made it, and I want to let you know how you can engage with us. So first off, let's look at the schedule. This is our last live stream of the day today, but we also have the same schedule tomorrow, so make sure you come back. In the morning, we kick things off with Kathleen, who's in chat right now, with the Photoshop Daily Creative Challenge. Right after that, we did a photo retouching live stream with Peter Samuels. He does photography for animals, and it's amazing, and animals always break the internet, so check that out. Then we did the XD Daily Creative Challenge with Howard Pinsky, our favorite, and finally, we're live here at the end. So thanks for joining us. Now that you're here, make sure to stick around. In 30 minutes, we're gonna give away a prize to everybody that's in chat. Well, not to everybody. Everybody will get a consolation prize, but one lucky winner in 30 minutes will get a prize. So I have to just stay busy in chat. And then we'll also be reviewing your daily creative challenge designs from this morning, from Kathleen's challenge. We'll be doing that in an hour and a half. So if you have questions about it, there's a tab right above chat that says challenge, and you can read about it there. So that's the housekeeping.
Yeah.
If you'd like, we can tell them a little more about your project for today.
Sure. I wanted to say hi to everybody in the chat
Good
first.
call.
Thanks for being here. Marco is from Germany here. Let us know where you guys are coming from. It's always exciting to talk about different countries and different cultures.
We got someone from Oakland right across the bridge.
Yay,
Thanks
Brazil is in the
Eric.
house. Awesome.
And a lot of regulars. We've got Tim, of course, Alexandra,
Of course.
Justin, Pedro.
Kathleen, good to have
Yeah.
you here. Thanks for watching.
Oh man,
Cool.
cool. So keep letting us know where you're from, and I do want to give a quick PSA of, I don't know if anyone's joining from Australia, but there's some really big fires going on in Australia.
Yeah, unfortunately,
And it's no joke, and we're all creative, so we can all do something to help out with the situation that's going on over that, be it spreading awareness about what's happening, or maybe even solving some of the problems.
Donating.
Yep. So please check that out and support the cause.
Yeah. Too bad, those koalas. I always feel so sorry for animals
I
in
know.
situations like that. It's terrible.
It's really a tragedy. So,
Okay.
on a lighter note, I just want to say that because we probably do have some people watching from Australia. Our hearts go out to you. And let's chat about what you're working on. Julia has some sketches that we're going to be working off of today to build a logo. We thought maybe we could show those to you.
Yeah, so we are working on a brand for a flower shop. It's a young woman who recently opened her flower shop, and now she wants to make it a whole brand, and that's the reason why we're designing this logo. And later on, we'll apply the logo with different lockups to different applications. Like we're gonna create a landing page for her, a business card, and different little things that she can use for her business. So, but today we're gonna start with the logo itself. Here I already made a couple quick ideas of how I'm imagining this brand. So you see a lot of very playful, typeface, very female oriented, and serif. I'm gonna be using serif fonts.
Did she give you any direction?
Well, actually, it's a fictionary lady, so I'm
Normally,
kinda,
would they?
So I'm kind of trying to give myself some directions, and
Maybe
working
the client is you.
working on personal projects. It's always best if you create yourself a visionary character. And if we switch to my screen, we can quickly see her. This is her. This is Mary. So Mary is very passionate about flowers, and therefore her shop name will be Rosemary.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So
we have some comments in chat too. They
awesome.
They like some of the sketches and logos, and I think you wanted to give people a chance to pick some of their favorites. So
sure. Yeah, we can definitely look at them.
But
in,
yeah,
in a little,
feel free to
in a little
continue
while.
your pitch about Mary.
So the idea is that Mary has opened her own little shop, and she wants a brand that's very classy, but still kind of has a little pop of color. And therefore, we're going to be looking at different color palettes that we can use for her brand. And for that, we could, for example, go onto the site color.adobe.com, and at the top you will find the trends. I like to look at this site because you'll really see different color palettes that you might not have thought of. So I think it's very interesting to take a look at this, and it's very easy to add these color palettes to your library by just clicking Add to Library, and then you will see them right in your Illustrator. So for example, I have downloaded this color palette right here.
Awesome.
And we can make a use out of that, or we can take another look at that. But let's take a look at the logos with our GoPro cam real quick.
Yeah.
So you can see my different ideas that I had. So I've been actually sketching type here, serif combined with sans serif. I think it's always a good contrast that can be applied to different brands. I have made some little illustrations that we can use in the brand as patterns or as graphic elements to create background designs, for example. Yeah, and
there's so many different styles here, and I really love it.
Yeah,
and I can tell you really explored a lot of options here.
Yeah, definitely. No, I'm always trying to, to see what potential the brand has and see different ways to translate the brand language into the logo.
Yeah, totally.
And what we're gonna do later on is also trying to see how this logo can be applied for different purposes. For example, we will have a longer variation of the logo for the website, and we will have an icon version that's only like a graphic image, so we can put it in patterns or as graphic elements in our prints. So yeah,
to see that.
Yeah, I'm
That's
excited.
Super cool.
I don't know what it's gonna come out to, but these are the initial ideas, and yeah, we could jump right into it and try to find some fonts and some put some ideas together.
We have a few new names in chat. We've got Justin joined us, Petra from Sacramento, also very close to us, and I think Jurgen was joining from somewhere far away, and I can't recall where it was now. Jurgen, let us know, or I can scroll up. Oh yeah, from Guatemala.
Oh, wow.
So thanks for joining, everyone. If you have any questions while Julia is working, or you want to contribute some ideas, this is very much a collaborative live stream, so feel free to jump into the chat on Behance and let us know what you're thinking, because we'd love to hear from you.
Awesome.
Cool. So if you want, we can start going for it.
Yeah, cool. Tim was also saying the hovering art director action figure can stimulate the client requests, just make it pop. Yeah, that's exactly what we're going to do today. We're going to make it pop. So I've started here with some color palettes that I picked myself, but let's get back to this, to the color site.
We have a quick question from Justin. How would you scan these in and bring them into Illustrator?
You can actually just take a phone picture or anything, but I'm just gonna use these as references for myself. I'm not actually gonna bring them into Illustrator. I'm just gonna take a look at them, to recall all the ideas that I've had and the different styles that we can make use of. So I'll just keep them right next to me, visible while I'm working.
Inspiration. Zombie Army also says, the O in Rosemary looks fun. There are a lot of O's here, so you have to tell us which one.
Probably this one.
Oh yeah, could be.
Or this one.
I was thinking this one.
Maybe.
But.
Well, okay, so let's take a look at the color.adobe.com trends in graphic design. And we can see different color palettes that we can make use of. I think I've added this one to the library already, which is really cool. I might as well, my idea was to bring darker blue color combined with, rosy colors. It can be a very light beige or a light pink, or it can be a light red that's a little bit more, has a little bit more white touch in it. So that was the idea. And here maybe we can also take a look at this one, for example. It has pretty natural earthy tones, which can also fit to the brand, and we can maybe create a combination of all those ideas. So I'm gonna add this to my library. And
what's really cool too is it's really, like you mentioned, it's really easy to make these, both on desktop. You can just upload an image, and then you can move little pointers around and make your own, or it'll do it automatically.
Exactly, you can also do it right here. You can also just extract them from an image.
Yep.
Let's see if I can just take it from my Rose picture.
Hey, Rose.
There we go. We have a color palette just based from Rose's picture. But I think it's a little bit too colorful for me. I would maybe not combine too many colors with each other. I would probably take 2 tones that are a little subtle and then one that makes it pop.
Just like the art director says.
Yeah, right?
Cool.
Okay, so let's get back to our Illustrator.
We also have some people mentioning Adobe Capture, and that's also a great tool because you can just use your camera to take these color palettes from the real world.
Exactly.
So if like you're outside and you're feeling inspired by a pond or a building, you can actually take a picture on your phone and then extract a color palette, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. As you can see here, I've already kind of picked these 2 subtle tones and the red combined with it. So I might go for this one. It's just my problem with this right now is that this color, this pinkish color, is a little too cold for me. I kind of want it a little bit warmer. So I go into my color and I'll go more into the warmer reds, and I'll see what I find there. Yeah, maybe it can be something like this.
Nice.
But I might want it a little bit lighter so it has a greater contrast into the blue, because we're gonna be using this color on top of the blue or on top of the red to put the typeface on or graphics. So
gotta make it pop.
Gotta make it pop, exactly. That might be it, actually. This red might be a little too poppy. I'll go more into the whiter version of it. So I'll just move it into the white direction.
I always loved playing around with that color picker.
Yeah.
It's infinite possibilities.
That's maybe a little too white. Yeah, that could be it. Okay, then what I would do is I would look at my sketches again and I would see what kind of typefaces I was imagining. So here I have a lot of sans serifs. So what we can do is we can go to the fonts page. Oops.
Our good friend Adobe Fonts.
Yeah, and the cool thing here is I can really type my name of the brand, and I want it all in caps. So I just type it in caps, and then I can pick here if I want it in sans serif, serif. What kind of properties I want to have, what weight I want to have, width, anything, all the things that can possibly define it. And you can even pick the languages here at the bottom. So for example, you have a Russian name and it will only show you typefaces that have the Russian language in it.
Cool.
So that's pretty cool. And here I already find some that are interesting for me. For example, this one looks very classy, but it still has this little edgy sans serif character to it. So I'm gonna take a look at it.
It's like a rose, but has thorns, you know?
Yeah, correct. And I can see here they have lovely italic versions here as well.
Cool.
That we can use on the brand. So I'm just gonna activate the whole family right here. And then let's see what else. Okay, this was Lovette display. Let's go back to our Illustrator. I have the German keyboard, so sometimes I will be typing Z's instead of Y's and the other way.
The Z and Y are switched, and you have some extra characters, right?
Exactly. So that is interesting.
I'm going to look something up. We also had some questions about your Behance, so in a little bit, if we have a break, we can show people some of your work from Behance.
Definitely.
And maybe your Instagram, and let them know where they can follow you.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. That was Lovette. Lovette display. That already sounds French. And it looks great. I love it. I love that
face. That's really nice.
Yeah. Right. And then I would just copy paste it, try different other typefaces that I can use.
For a total noob, what key did you hold to drag it and duplicate it?
Drag it and duplicate it. I hold the left mouse key, drag it, and click Alt.
Okay, cool. Easy.
Yep.
Just in case there's some, newbies in the chat like myself.
Yeah. Copy paste is probably one of the most functions that you will use, and Control Z.
Yeah. A lot of designers will come into Adobe Live and their Z key is totally burned out. Like, there's no letter on it anymore.
I also found myself trying to press the Control Z button in the real life. So, for example, when I've been like 24 hours working on some project, and I went to the kitchen and I made some coffee, and then I did some dumb thing and I spilled the whole coffee or something, I'll be like, oh, please,
undo.
Control Z.
Let us know if you've ever done that. I'd love to know. I'm sure some of our viewers have done the same thing.
Yeah.
Because I can totally relate to that.
Yeah, I would love that. Yeah, and I see there is another very interesting typeface that I could be using, Starling.
Ooh.
Starling 10 fonts. There we go, activate it. Let's see on the next page what we can find. Rosemary. Cool. I want something a little bit extraordinary, maybe.
You'll have to let me know when you find one you think is extraordinary, why? Because I'm curious.
Well, are you asking me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I guess when you see it, you say, oh, this is it, and then...
This is a little extraordinary.
Yeah?
Yeah, because it's not a typical typeface, classic sans serif. It's more, it has more weight to it. Or... this one is, for example, it's sans serif, but it's more simple, and therefore it kind of stands out. Or, for example, if you look at this R, it has this little curve in it.
Cool.
And it gives
the O.
Yeah, it gives the typeface a character, and I think typefaces that have character are the extraordinary ones for me.
Cool. Thanks for explaining that.
Yeah, this one, for example, looks very nice. It has a very nice flow, specifically to our brand. So I'm going to take a look at it.
Cool. It's really nice how easily you can just kind of browse these and figure out if they work.
Yeah, I love it.
Some people in chat have found my YouTube channel. You can watch me fish on YouTube.
Yeah, I also have a YouTube channel.
Julia also has one.
Yeah.
It's more suited to the topic at hand. She makes really amazing videos, so you should check those out.
It's fun. Yeah, I'm trying to help designers or freelance designers to learn things that I've made the experience in, but you usually don't learn in school. Like, for example, how to approach clients, or all the legal stuff that you need to know before starting the work with a client.
It's super helpful. I think a lot of folks that watch Adobe Live or participate in our communities, not all of them, but a lot of them are self-taught. So having some access to information like that and resources that can give them kind of a leg up, it's super helpful.
Yeah, and I wish there was I wish I had looked things up like that before I jumped into it and made my own mistakes. So I think I'm trying to be helpful. I'm just trying to.
Yeah, it's super helpful. I tend to be like the type of person that touch the stove to figure out if it's hot.
Yeah, same here.
But, some people are smarter than that, and they do their research.
I know.
Just not me.
This one looks great.
I like that.
Monarcha. Let's see.
Have you ever created a font or typeface before?
Oh, I've created a typeface that's... I haven't really created it. I've just modified the typeface.
Oh, cool.
It's been the scan typeface that I can show it real quick on my Behance. Or if you have it up already, it's this one actually. If you just click on it.
Cool,
so basically, it's if you go down. Yeah, right there.
Oh, awesome.
So basically, it's a distorted typeface.
Glitch in the matrix.
Yeah, exactly.
I love this.
Yeah, it's a project that I've been working on for years now. It's all about distorting photos. I do it with a scanner, so I just put a photo on a scanner, and while the scanning process, I move the photo.
Oh, I love that.
And it divides the colors. For example, if you have a black and white photo, it divides it into colors, and then you can make amazing patterns like this.
Yeah, that's super cool.
Yeah. anyway, so that was the font that I made, but I frequently modify typefaces, for example, for logos. I just use the vector of the typeface, so I outline the typeface when I'm creating the logo. And what I do is I just, play with the vectors, move the dots.
That's fun.
And yeah.
You're inspiring me to try that out.
Oh, thank you.
I'm gonna make my own glitchy typeface.
Yeah, for sure. Okay,
Paco's called it natural chromatic aberration. Paco's such a photographer.
Yeah. Monarcha. I love Monarcha.
Hi, Ali. Thanks for joining us. We are Julia's designing a logo right now for a flower shop. And then she'll be applying that logo to some branding assets and then doing some mock-ups tomorrow. So if you have any questions on branding, identity, graphic design, career development, any advice, feel free to ask.
Exactly. Yeah, you guys, if you have any questions about freelancing, let us know. I'm here to answer. So I have picked these two for now. So what I do is I copy paste them and put them on the side so I can modify and remember the typeface later on.
Cool.
But what I do with these right now is I'm gonna outline them. It's gonna be Command, Shift, and O. And then these become vectors. So I can actually go in and modify them.
Awesome. If you wanted to turn that off, how would you turn, like if you accidentally outlined type, could you go back and reverse it?
Yeah, you can just go back.
Just Control Z.
Control
Our
Z.
favorite friend.
Yeah, my favorite.
Cool.
Okay, let's come back and outline it. I think this is really interesting because this typeface has a little character to it. This R has this, rounded shape, and it kind of reminds me of hands that kind of reach out to something, and it has this motherly feeling. I don't know. It's just my instinct tells me that
holding a baby.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
Yeah, and I also really love how it's been played with the O right here. You know how
it's kind of like
an
X a little bit.
Asymmetric, yeah. And it's very soft, soft and white. It's gonna be easy to read. Let's go back, and I'm gonna increase the distance here a little bit.
We've got a lot of new people joining chat. Thanks for saying hi. We've got Shivansh in chat. We've got Evgenia. Sorry, I know that I...
Evgenia. Probably Russian, right?
Mispronounced
from
it.
Russia, yeah.
Awesome. Thanks for joining us. Your name's beautiful. I just can't pronounce names very well. We have a chat and win in just over 6 minutes.
Yay.
So if you haven't missed it yet, you'll have a chance to win 100 free stickers, custom stickers from Sticker Mule. So stick around for that. You won't want to miss it.
Awesome. Cool. So what I was thinking here is that we could really play with the O and make it some kind of rosy, shape. So the logo is unique and still the typeface is very classic. So what I can do here is, I have de-outlined it yet.
I know, that's my fault. I told you to do that.
Oh, no. I went back because I wanted to increase the kerning a little bit.
Okay, cool.
So because I want it to be easy to read from far. And a good thing to see if things are easy to read from far is to zoom out. Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Exactly. So you can see that this is really easily readable from far.
That's a really good technique because you can even contrasting it to the one above it.
Yeah.
It's true.
It makes a difference, yeah. And I think the boldness and the thickness of the typeface is really important, that it's not too bold and not too thin, because from distance, the eye cannot comprehend lines that are too thin.
Yep.
And also for the print, it can be difficult. So for logos, I try to choose typefaces that have a little bit of weight, but not too much.
Cool. I think that's a great tip. Also, Nola, hi, welcome. Daniel's here. Bojan's here. Malte, thanks for saying hi. Stick around. Like I said, we've got Chat and Win coming up.
Yeah, that will be fun. So, yeah, I'm just gonna try and create a shape that we can put into the O. So if you would like to modify, for example, a letter, you can zoom in, click on your vector that you want to modify, and you can basically just do it.
Come on.
Yeah.
Don't fail me now. What's really cool about Illustrator as a program, and I know a lot of our viewers know this, but everything's built out of vectors, and it's kind of like building with blocks and shapes. And it's a lot of overlapping and subtracting shapes and weight. And
I don't know why it's locked. It's like locked, so I can only modify. Anyway, so what you can do is you can modify the shape, but you can also. Oh, probably because it's already cut out. That's why.
Oh.
Okay, you can release the mask, and then what you can do is,
smart.
and then what you can do is you can create a shape and put it into the O, for example. So that's what we're gonna do right now. We're gonna go to our. Let's use this one for now. Oh, I think I have it snapped to grid.
Yeah, actually, that's what Jack Watson just suggested.
Okay, yeah.
Jack's a former Adobe Live guest.
Oh, okay.
She would have a really
Cool.
good suggestion for us.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah. Let's see what I'm just trying to figure out. Okay, pencil tool sounds good. Okay, so now let's create something that could remind of a flower.
You just do that with mouse?
Yeah.
Just Mouse Pro. In chat, do you use a mouse, the trackpad?
I use the trackpad right now, but I also have a mouse here, so I'm actually able to use both. But at the moment, I'm just using the trackpad.
Cool. What do you all use out there in the internet world?
Yeah, let us
Let us
know.
know.
Okay. Let's make it fill. with
Mateus says, put a rose flower O into the letter. Put a rose flower into the letter O, and that's kind of what we're doing, except a little bit more abstract, right?
This
it's
is
like a flowery shape.
This is not really. It's more like a. But you can see what I'm saying, right? You can just put any shape into it,
Get out of the way.
But I'm just gonna experiment with different other shapes meanwhile. So, if you guys have any questions, give us something to talk about.
Yeah, for sure. We've got some people in chat saying that they're, we've got Marina's trackpad, all life, pen tablet, mouse and pen tablet, stylus for best precision, pen table, mouse or stylish mouse. Looks like a lot of people are using mice. No rats, just mice. Sorry, that was a bad joke.
Now I'm using the mouse actually. To try to. Let's give this some color here.
We're giving the line color, yeah.
Yeah,
cool. Nice.
just so I can see what I'm doing.
Yeah, a lot of people are using mice.
Mice.
That's the go-to.
Yeah, right. That is somehow, but ugly flower shape. Let's just continue.
You feel free to keep playing until you feel good about it. That's the fun of these live streams, is we can just experiment, and then once you feel good,
Yeah.
ooh, nice. You know that, I don't know if you play video games, but that looks kind of like a slime. Yeah, in like some video games, there's a monster called a slime, and it's like a little drop, a little slimy drop.
Yeah.
It looks kind of like a slime.
Okay, maybe.
Oh, Yuri gave me a pity laugh.
Okay, maybe like a leaf.
Hi, Colby. Welcome. Colby's also been a guest on Adobe Live. It's awesome to see
hi,
you in
Colby.
chat.
Yeah, that's cool. As you can see, like I'm just really, I'm just experimenting, and maybe we'll find something cool that will work.
I love it. We should keep experimenting, always.
Yeah.
Jack Watson says Monster Hunter. I think there are slimes in Monster Hunter.
Okay, that almost looks like a shape of like a leaf or something. Okay, maybe we can also combine
Ooh,
two of
now
them.
you're getting fancy.
Yeah, now we're getting fancy, huh?
Oh, I forgot to
we
give
try to
reminders. And now our fireworks are going off.
Yay!
The chat win countdown has hit 0, which means we will be right back. boo, boo,
Hey,
All right.
fireworks.
You know what time it is, it's Chat and Win. If it's your first time here, let me explain it for you really quickly. If you're watching the live stream, and especially if you're on YouTube, all you have to do is come over to behance.net/Adobe Live, log into chat, and then say anything you want in there. It can be hi, or you can give Julia some nice compliments, or you can just introduce
say bonjour.
yourself. Ooh, yeah, or say bonjour. And then we'll select one random winner that's been typing in chat here in about a minute, and you'll receive 100 custom stickers from Sticker Mule.
Yay, awesome.
So let her fly.
And you can see we love stickers.
Yes. Well, I only have one. Mine's so sad
Aw.
compared to yours.
Yeah, I literally have like the whole Adobe Creative Suite here.
Me too. I
And-
love your stickers though. It's good.
And this is a sticker from Ladies Wine and Design.
Ooh.
It's a cool community of ladies who have events. Lucas,
Lucas.
congratulations.
Congratulations. We will send you information on Behance very shortly. I'll send it to you after this stream on how you can claim your prize. And for everyone that did not win, you can get 10 stickers for $1. All you have to do is go to this URL right here. Stickermule.com.
This URL.
Whoa, I'm going off into the abyss. And then you can get 10 stickers for $1. And they're the same type of stickers you would get if you had won.
Okay, I need to remove this. This looks very ugly. Okay, what I wanted to mention is Ladies Wine and Design. So it is actually for ladies, to support ladies, but men I think are also welcome.
Good.
So it's
I like
always
wine and design.
they have really cool events where they actually have wine and design talks.
Cool.
So they usually have some a leadership lady talking about how she got where she is right now. So it's always very exciting, and I really love attending those. You
Do
can
they
check
have
those
like
out.
chapters in the US? Or?
They have chapters almost in every city.
Cool.
Yeah,
That's
worldwide. So
Maybe we can drop a link in chat. I think Tim's
yeah,
usually
Ladies
on
Wine
that
and
stuff.
Design. There's Ladies Wine and Design SF. There's it's by the way it's created by Jessica Walsh, who is the owner of End Walsh in New York, and she's formerly has been a partner of Zach Meister and Walsh. I think every of the designers know it. It's a great agency in New York. They have
We actually
really
had
amazing.
him on Adobe Live.
Oh, really?
At Off last year or 2 years ago.
Oh wow!
Yeah, he
Awesome.
shared some really good info with us. So
Yeah.
that was nice.
Yeah, Stefan Zachmeister is, I think he's from Austria, Austrian designer. Yeah,
He's
so
very tall too.
he's very tall.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the most German guys, I think. Yeah, cool, awesome. Let's get back to our leaves, aka drops.
We had a couple questions, so I'm gonna start
Sure,
loading them up
go
for
ahead,
you
yeah.
whenever they're ready. I just need to scroll up on the chat and make sure I saw them. Oh, also Stephanie says she's going to her first one tomorrow night. Ladies
Oh,
Wine
cool.
and Design.
Yeah,
It was
awesome.
Question for Julia. When you present logos to your clients, what format and size do you send them?
Okay.
How do you share it?
How do I share it? Usually when I'm communicating with my clients, when I'm communicating ideas with my clients, I am creating a presentation and then I'm talking to them on a video conference. So it can be Blue Jeans, it can be Zoom, it can be, I don't usually use Skype, but Zoom and Blue Jeans are really good for that. And I can share my screen and there I present my logo designs. For me, it's important to have a face-to-face conversation with them while I present it because I can really see what they're feeling and what they're thinking about my design. So I can really recommend sharing design ideas with a video conference.
That's a really good tip.
And then what I do is I usually put the logo kind of like here, white on black, and then next to it on black and white. Or I just put it on different slides because that actually makes it really visible how the logo is readable, and you can really see the shape the best way because it's the highest contrast there is. Cool. And what I like to do also is I like to mock the logo up so the client has an understanding of how the logo can be used and how it will look on different things, like for example a t-shirt or a bag or a website, or sometimes I create like a visual for a social media page and how their logo will be implemented in that. So yeah, there's different things that you can do to help your client to understand what the logo really means and how it appeals.
You might get a little less pushback that way too, right? Like if you're giving context and showing why you made the decisions you made.
Oh, that's for sure, yeah.
They might not be like, oh, I'd make it green, you know, or whatever. They might have some gut reaction that they might actually reel back on.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
And it's always important to, before you do the presentation, to really put the brand voice into words and to really try to understand what the client needs and wants. And this will help you to argument or to justify the way you design something.
Cool.
So, for example, if you say the company has a ecological aspect to it, and you choose the color green, that's a reason. You don't give a reason as in I like it, or your personal opinion. You try to make it reasonable with the brand voice itself.
That's a really good tip. It's kind of like your North Star in a way, right?
Exactly.
It's your signpost. Exactly. And you're reminding them all along, like, here's why I've done this.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah.
To answer your question really quickly, Jofian, yes, we're going to be doing design feedback in 53 minutes around there, and it will be on the Photoshop Discord. So there's a link to that actually on the challenge tab right above chat.
Yeah, excited about that.
Yeah.
This reminds me of coffee actually. So if I would create a coffee brand, this could be
like it's the
this could
steam?
be the steam of the coffee. Yeah.
You should save that for later. I like it.
Yeah, but we need to get more into the flower shape. So I'm gonna experiment further.
Yeah, feel free. Angela's wondering if you recommend any certain websites or online communities for someone who wants to start freelancing.
I would not recommend Fiverr because I think the designers are not getting paid their value, and you simply cannot survive of designing on Fiverr. I think also many clients realize that it's not the best platform because there is many people who are not very who don't have enough practice. So you never know what you get. I recommend if you're starting off working as a freelancer for agencies, like Creative Circle, for example. I think there's plenty of those where you can, get freelance contract work for a couple months, and that can really give you a good insight into companies. For example, I had a friend who got the chance to work with Dropbox, through Creative Circle, and you get an insight into this company, and then on your resume you can already say, okay, I have worked for Dropbox. I had Dropbox as one of my clients, so that is very good. And then you can just approach local agencies as a freelancer, offering them your service in case, for example, they have tight deadlines that they can reach out to you and you can help them out with some freelance work, like something quick, like retouching photos, or that's what I've been doing for an agency recently. So that really gives you the opportunity to work from home, to be more flexible, and to still, get your work in.
Totally.
Yeah.
And I know, we have some friends or people we work with that have made connections in the graphic design branding space that have a lot of work, and they're constantly looking for someone that's kind of like maybe an understudy, or like you said, like backup for overflow work.
Yeah.
And they can send you either full projects, or they can sign you on to do some of the more like day-to-day tasks of like finishing up or polishing some designs that they've worked on, or even like packaging them together and exporting them and sharing them.
Yeah, or preparing them for print, for example.
Yeah.
I did a lot of production work as well, and it's fun.
Yeah, it's a great way to get your foot in the door
Yeah.
and get some consistent income going, so you can continue to work on your freelance brand.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
Are you familiar with design sprints?
Design sprints, yeah, for sure. I think it's a great way for companies to get results fast.
So we have a question about it. I don't know if you want to speak about it, but if you feel comfortable, Justin's wondering what type of design sprints you like, and then what type of Scrum you use. And I think Scrum is like an agile versus waterfall type management system. So if you have any insights on either of those, feel free. If not, then it is what it is.
Well, there is this book called The Design Sprint, and it's about really a concept of how to create one of these sprints. I can really recommend reading that because if you're a freelancer, you can offer this as a service to companies. And I think many businesses really can profit from that, benefit from that, because they don't only get a design from you, but they also get the strategic way of developing their brand, and it gets them thinking about their own brand as well. So this design sprint has a concept of a 5-day intense design sprint. The first 2 days, I think, are for ideation and creating a bunch of ideas and putting them into different concepts. The third day is really to decide on the concept, the direction. And the fourth and fifth day is more into really producing a lot of content based on this art direction. So I can really recommend that. And
That's a great tip.
This book is really cool if you want to learn about sprints.
I think it's important to build a foundation before you go ahead and make creative decisions, right?
For sure.
Because if you just go out there and do it, then you might end up wasting your time on a direction that doesn't align.
Yeah, for sure.
We've got Munir in chat, our good friend. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, Munir.
Good to see you.
Good to see you. I'm just trying to recreate the rosemary shape right now. So rosemary has these long leaves, so I'm just trying to get this into my logo.
I love that. You also have sort of a similar sketch too you've explored.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
I would show you, but I can't switch right now.
Yeah. So I'm gonna use this as a graphic element in a little bit. Just gonna build it out a little bit.
Cool.
So today we're gonna just do the basic ideas and build them out. I'm gonna build them out for you guys tomorrow. Okay. We can also try and play with a ellipse tool. Modify the shape a little bit. Here.
If you feel comfortable answering while you work, Midafe is
sure.
wondering in regards to portfolios. He's in he or she is in the process of putting it together and is wondering if wondering what they should include to attract clients.
They should include the work that you would like to do. So you create the portfolio to call for people who need the kind of work that you put into your portfolio. So if you want to do packaging design, you put a lot of packaging designs into your portfolio because that's what you want to do, right? So I think it's really interesting to, or it's good to focus on the things that you're strong in and that you're passionate about.
You don't want to get hired for work that you didn't enjoy.
Exactly. Although it might look good on your portfolio, or it's a I don't know, an interesting client, but you don't want to do that work. So why would you put it into your portfolio to attract clients who want you to do that work? So yeah, just try to represent your abilities, and I would also definitely try to include all of the tools that you can work with. So for example, if you can use a 3D program, you should definitely include, if you want to go into that direction, you should definitely include this tool set into your portfolio so that the client really can see what you're able to do. So yeah.
That's super smart. I also think that it's a good idea not to bombard or overload your portfolio with too many projects.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll look at portfolios that have, a really long, like maybe 15, 20 projects, and then it becomes hard to know what to look at.
Exactly.
So I would just focus on like a handful of really good projects that you feel represent your skill and your interests. Like Julia said.
To create a variety of a shape, I usually go onto the transform tool, and there you can reflect. So you can reflect vertically or horizontally, or you can change the angle, but you can turn it anyway. So so then I just reflect it, and that's what gives it a little bit different, variation.
That's great.
There we go, and then you can just play with the size a little bit, and then you almost have two different shapes.
It's funny how your brain it'll trick you, like they're the same, but as soon as you flip it, you think, oh, those are slightly different.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, that could be something. Let's see. That could be something. That could be something right there.
Can you feel it?
It's like you know, there is this little person in the tunnel, going and looking for ideas, and then you kind of like try and find in the tunnel.
Are you like searching in the tunnel, like picking up rocks and things?
Yeah, right.
You're like, oh no.
Yeah,
no.
exactly. That's what it is.
And then you find a diamond.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of design, and as everyone's seeing right now, is really just exploring and not being afraid to like make mistakes, because sometimes really amazing designs come out of
Yeah,
mistakes.
have you seen those shapes that I started making, those flame shapes? This one was the first one.
Yeah.
So now look how it evolved from this shape to this shape, right? It's just all experimentation.
It's really cool though. It's cool to see.
Yeah, I was trying to not, prepare too much, so I really can show the way I do it. So now we can use the shape. It almost reminds me of a tulip.
Nice. Oh, can you tell people what you did to combine those?
All right. So I have multiple shapes right here. And then we have this Pathfinder bar. By the way, I really recommend you guys use the properties side toolbar, because as soon as you select an object, it really shows you a variety of things you can do to this object specifically. So if it's a text, it will show you different typefaces you can pick, and things you can do with a typeface. And here you can see the things that you can do with shapes. So I really recommend you guys use the properties panel here. So what I did is, to combine the shapes, I go to Pathfinder, and it unites the different shapes together into one. And then we can fill it with a color, and it's just one shape.
Awesome.
Right.
We have a follow-up to our portfolio question around that's awesome feedback, but what if you are a jack of all trades and a master of none? So what if you actually do multiple things well? What do you then do with your portfolio?
I had the same problem, because when I studied industrial design, which does not have to do much with graphic design. But while I was studying industrial design, I learned how to 3D prototype things. And I think that's a tool that I can that complements packaging design, because it's really helpful to understand how a 3D model looks like and what you can do with the lighting to create a great render. So find things that you can combine of that complement each other. So for example, if you do illustration and graphic design, I will concentrate on those two things. And of course, you should pick the multiple things that you can combine that you're most passionate about. So, yeah. Yeah,
so maybe all those disciplines aren't like as separate as they seem on paper.
Exactly.
Like as you start doing them, you realize there's actually a lot of crossover.
Yeah.
And you can use them to form your own superpower. It might not feel like a jack of all trades situation.
Yeah, I agree. Completely agree to that. I really like this line version of this shape. This one is not very attractive to me, so I'm trying to understand what makes it look a little weird. So I'm just gonna, so this is something that I can like take a little grip on, and I will be okay, this idea kind of has something, but it's not final yet. So I'm just gonna copy paste it again with Alt left mouse key and drag. So I just continue ideating on this idea.
What do you like about it with the line work as opposed to the fill? Is it the space?
I think it's the white space that's in between the lines. It seems more appealing to me than the shape as a whole.
Yeah, it feels a little feminine to me, like in terms of its shape. I don't know for sure, I'm not a designer, but it feels like I can tell that's a flower, whereas the other shape, not so much, like on its own.
Yeah. So for example, if we would take this like that could be already a logo.
Yeah, that looks really nice. Hey!
Bam! There we have it!
Boom.
Okay, let's do this again. Graded, I think it was 100. So for logos, I like to leave a little bit more space between the letters to increase the kerning a little bit because it's better, it's better readable and it looks more sophisticated, It gives you more time to reflect.
I feel like it also, like if you read that and then close your eyes, you can still see it.
Yeah.
Whereas sometimes if you, it has enough weight to it that it kind of imprints on your vision.
Yeah. Agreed. Okay, let's try on this a little bit more.
Yep, Norris agrees. The line version is more intriguing because it gives depth and layers like a flower would.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. We could also play with the inside of these shapes, and we could also play with the opacity.
Cool.
That would give a completely different impression.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't quite like it.
Yeah.
And then we can also take these shapes and multiply them even further.
Full bloom.
Yeah, right?
Osama's wondering if, does a graphic tablet make work much easier? What is the advantage to using a graphic tablet? I think like a tablet with a pen.
For me, I could never get used to that because I'm used to sketching on paper where I can see what I'm sketching.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't like using a graphic tablet where I'm looking at the screen and my hand is somewhere else. For my brain, it just doesn't work. So what I do is I use an iPad, and there you have different applications like Fresco, for example, where you can create vectors and you can just send them over to your desktop computer, and you have your vector right there. So I can really recommend that. I do that sometimes too. Yeah.
Cool. I think that's a great tip. It does take practice to get used to that.
For sure.
It's a little strange.
On the tablet though, it's very intuitive for me because I usually sketch on paper and it's basically the same thing, just digitalized. So. Okay.
Yuri likes more petals.
More petals?
She says, ooh, more petals, nice.
Yeah, more petals. It makes it more complex, right? It makes it more unique. And since our shape is not very, it's not very straight, it has a certain, like a flower, it's never 100% symmetric, right? So it has some kind of
I think that was really intelligent how you manipulated the shape slightly every time that you duplicated them and flipped them. Because you're right, it does feel more organic that way.
Yeah, they're kind of the same because their origin is the same shape, right? So the eye kind of can connect them together.
Yep.
Since they have this little tip that's not very straight.
Kathleen has a good tip in chat that Illustrator on the iPad is on the way. We sneaked that already at Max.
Yeah, you can also sign up for a beta version. I think Paul Trani tweeted it.
Yeah,
a link. So
we have a link somewhere too. Tim might be able to share it in chat.
Yeah,
we had it from Max.
Yeah, you can sign up for the beta version. The better version.
Better version or beta.
Beta version. Yeah.
I'll be your translator. And
awesome.
you can read all of the names from chat.
Yeah.
You're way better.
Okay, I like where this is going. It's interesting actually. If you try to... So I always try to imagine how this would actually look like. So then I do this.
Do you find yourself gravitating more towards creating, like this flower, for example, I would consider more symmetrical than asymmetrical? There are some slight differences, but it's kind of symmetrical. Do you tend to gravitate more towards that than like an asymmetrical logo?
Usually I like the simplicity and minimalistic shapes. But in this case, it's really not that simplistic because this shape is pretty complex. It's not symmetrical, and it has different, the combination of shapes. You would think of regular I have seen logos like this, but they have been completely symmetrical.
Yep.
Right? But here, I think the asymmetrical design gives it a certain uniqueness because there won't be the same
quality.
vector. The same vector won't exist ever because I've made it just now.
Yep. Yeah, I think that's a really good point. And sometimes, depending on what the brand is and what the company is, something that is totally symmetrical, that has straight lines and doesn't feel like it was made by hand might make more sense. But I think for the branding that you're working on, like this obviously fits, kind of like you said, the North Star earlier, like the mission a little bit more closely.
Okay, so now I'm going to copy paste the whole thing. So I have variations of the logo because I can see this as a logo already. I would like to explore a little bit more, so I'm trying to play with the size and with the thickness of the lines to see how this looks.
Hi Boyana, thanks for joining us. We have a question from John. John is wondering why you're not referencing an actual rosemary sprig, or if you referenced one while you were creating this.
Yeah, I was actually working on that right here. I was trying to reference the long leaves of the rosemary. I think it's interesting, although it might remind of kitchen. So I would like to concentrate on the flower in general, maybe, and like use shapes that are made by nature, like the golden ratio, for example. It's something that you can use, and it's just general. Yeah, of course, I could definitely use rosemary itself as a reference. We could also try and make these leaves a little bit longer.
That's an interesting idea. Satish also suggested maybe using the shape builder to remove the lines between the shapes in the center. So I guess that's also something that could be explored with something complex as this. Like you have a lot of shapes inside of it, so you could.
Sure. What you can also do is, what I like to do sometimes is I would outline the stroke, and then you can go ahead and connect all the vectors. Let me see if that worked. No, it didn't work. I think it's the other one. It's this one, outline.
Cool.
Okay, and now, create something a bit weird.
That's why we're experimenting. Oh, nice.
Okay, let's see if I can now access these shapes here.
Karen says your petal curves match the R serif, and it looks awesome.
Thank you.
Hi, Elena. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, this is a little... I think I have to connect them in a different way.
I wish I could help you, but you're better in Illustrator than I am. I'm happy to look it up, though, if you want. You can be a researcher. Or if anyone's watching in
this
chat,
is it, actually.
and you have suggestions at any point, feel free to let us know.
Okay, so I have this shape right now, but the lines are not connected to shapes. So what we can do is, let's see if this worked. Oh no, this is creating weird shapes right now. Compound shape. Okay, maybe I have to ungroup them.
Stanley says merge maybe, and then Eric says far left. I think we tried that.
This one, divide.
Yeah, I think we tried that one. And good reminder, Tim, if you are interested in us giving a review, or Julia specifically, reviewing some designs that you've created, we'll be reviewing the Daily Creative Challenge designs in 30 minutes. So all you have to do is share those in the Photoshop Discord server. You can get there by typing bit.ly/ps in capital letters and then Discord into your browser. Once you're in, just share it in the current challenge feedback channel and we'll take a peek in about 30 minutes.
I wish I could connect them somehow.
Ryan says if you keep it as paths and divide, it probably would work.
Divide?
So maybe if we keep them paths and then hit divide.
Okay, let's try this. Keep them as paths and then divide. Okay, yeah, that works. The only thing is what I actually wanted to do is I would like to make the shapes that are white right now, I would like to make them black. So basically I would like to remove or make this.
Oh, I see.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe this. No. Okay, let's try. If in case anybody of you guys has an answer to this, let us know.
Yeah.
But we'll continue
We
with
have
this.
lots of suggestions, but they're all
Okay.
slightly different.
Okay.
If you third option on the bottom, Stanley says, and then Eric says it's the merge one on Pathfinder. So Yuri also says
Merge.
it's merge
Merge. Okay. Yeah, we have this. That's good.
or shape builder.
Let's see if we can pick these shapes now. Yes.
Nice.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. Okay, cool. Yeah. Now I'm gonna pick all the shapes.
And Kathleen says the shape builder tool.
Oh, okay.
Shift
that will
M.
work too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey.
Thank you.
Thanks everyone.
And it's I think it's a really cool thing about Adobe Life is that you really learn together, you know, to do things.
We get to explore these things together and learn from one another. And I
Yeah.
think really in essence that's what community is.
Yeah.
That's why we
For sure.
create these streams and have the Discord servers and all that fun stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, but it doesn't let me fill. Is it a cutout?
And Jofian, sorry, I think I might be pronouncing that incorrectly again. Shift M, I think, is due to the shape builder tool.
Okay, let me try this.
Hey.
How about that? Okay. This kind of gives this impression a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah,
Cool.
could work. Could work as line art as well as
Yeah.
that. Could
Really-
work
I
as
really
the
like that. Ooh. That's a good idea. Brain blast.
Yeah, right.
And I wonder how it would read. It'd be interesting to experiment with this. Because if it's small enough, it might be confusing, but it also might work.
Let's see. Let's see how this works. Okay, I see. It is
All right, Ryan's got a solution for us. Although a lot of people are saying the Pathfinder tool would be our friend. Ryan says select the paths, the flower, unite on Pathfinder, then drop a black square behind, select both, and then click divide.
okay. That sounds good, but I think I have a really quick solution right now.
Yeah.
Bam.
Hey, nice.
Okay, I think the O right now seems very dark.
Mm-hmm.
So I might increase the shape thickness. So I would like to add a stroke to this. Stroke is a little big. Let's increase this in size.
Also, thank you to everyone who helped us out.
Yeah, thank you so much, guys.
Suggestions are always helpful.
Yeah. Okay. I don't want to convert it to path yet. Let's copy paste this. Okay, this is what we're working with.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, there is a very easy solution to this as well. To just take this one and make it white.
Yeah.
Very simple. Okay, now let's increase our
Do we have to bring it forward, maybe?
yeah, maybe. Ooh. Okay.
Thick lines.
Yay.
But it's working.
Okay, why is the middle?
Yeah. Are the strokes so large that they're all still overlapping?
Oh, okay, I know why. Because this.
Nice.
Okay. It is
Cool.
interesting.
I like that.
It is interesting. Yeah. It could work actually. It gives a lot of white space. But let us see what else we can do with that, you know?
Some people in chat are saying it looks kind of like a lotus flower,
Yeah,
which I think it does.
it
A little
does.
bit.
It does a little bit. But also it kind of reminds me of tulip,
Mhm.
actually.
That's true.
Yeah.
It also kind of looks like hands in some way.
Oh yeah, 5 fingers, right?
Yep.
And one of them is shorter than the other.
Yeah, kind of.
True.
Just a bit.
And it has to do with hands because Mary has to arrange the flowers with her hands. And have you ever seen how people work with flowers? They like they create a certain structure and then they kind of like poke the flowers in between to arrange them.
It's all
I watched
intentional.
videos on that. Yeah.
That's really cool.
It's
When you were doing
fun.
your homework for Mary's brand?
No, when I was preparing before I was preparing flower arrangements for my wedding.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. The flower arrangements at my wedding were very simple. They were just lavender. Just
Oh, that's
bunches
cool.
of lavender.
That's really nice though.
Yeah, they smelled really good.
Okay. Now let's make a little variation here. Let's make a little variation.
Hi, Falsey. Welcome. Idafe says it reminds me of Russian nesting dolls.
Huh?
We have a Russian nesting dolls. Is what it reminds Midafe of.
Oh, okay.
You know, like those eggs. Where,
Yeah. I know what you mean. Matryoshki. Matryoshki. Okay, I think it's cool that we have now a little symbol that we can use.
Mm-hmm.
So we can start creating different lockups of the logo because I can see this. This is my favorite so far. What do you guys think?
I like it too.
I think this is my favorite so far. It's simple. The typeface stands for itself, but also we can create variations like this later on.
Cool.
So let's drag this one over here and see how the lockup can work. So I'm gonna outline this, ungroup it, and then I'm gonna pick these 4 letters and put them underneath.
Oh, nice.
Let's see how this works.
I know this is a really simple shortcut, but how do you ungroup?
How do I
Command
ungroup?
Shift G?
Command Shift G, yeah.
Okay. Cool.
And Command G is to group something.
Nice. I'm
So
asking
now-
the easy questions, so
Yeah, that's good.
just in case.
Okay, I'm gonna group this. I'm gonna group this. I'm gonna group this. And then I'm gonna pick these 3 things. Because if something is a group, it's seen as one object, right?
Right.
So now if I center those, they're gonna center the objects. Now if I hadn't grouped that, all the letters will be together.
Ah, I see. Because it would be like
Yeah.
an infinitesimally
There will
small
be
point.
there will be single objects, and then they will be all together.
Ah,
So-
smart.
Make sure to group. I think the spacing here is a little too close. If you think about the spacing here and the spacing here,
Yeah.
here I'll maybe increase it a little bit.
It's kind of interesting. It gets bigger every time.
Yeah,
The way
right?
It sits.
Yeah.
Also, thanks for joining us, Yuri. It was really nice to see you in chat.
Yeah, Yuri, I remember you from the last streams.
Yeah, she's great. She's been one of
Awesome.
our friends for a long time.
Yeah, awesome.
And also, hi, Sam. Thanks for joining. Sam's watching from upstairs.
Oh, cool. Hi, Sam. Awesome. Yeah. Okay, this could be a lockup. This will be more like a vertical solution. Let's see if we can create a little frame for this.
If you hold shift, it creates a perfect circle, right? Or did it
Oh
do that
yeah,
automatically?
if I create a circle, so I press the left button and then shift and then I drag it. Oops. Okay.
There we go.
Yeah.
Nice.
And if I press shift, it creates the perfect circle. If I let go shift, it modifies it.
It can be an ellipse or
Manually.
something really different.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Hey, Anthony. Thanks for joining. Good to see you.
Okay, let's see what we can do with this. So
Cool.
my intention right now is to create a little shape that goes around the logo.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it has a little house for the logo. A little tiny little house.
Every logo needs a house.
Yeah.
Idafe is wondering what the name of the font is, if we could give a
This one?
reminder. Yeah.
Yeah. So we got this typeface from Adobe Fonts, and it is Monarcha Bold.
Cool. So there you go. Save
Yeah.
it for later and try
I
to
think
use
it's
it.
a really cool typeface. It's a sans serif, but it's still very rounded,
Mm-hmm.
and it has this R that I really love. And I think rosemary, the R is very characteristic for this logo. So,
Yeah, it's also characteristic for the word. You know, when you say rosemary, R
rosemary.
is super strong in that
Yeah,
word.
yeah. So that's why it kind of helps you to pronounce it
Mm-hmm.
better. Yeah, so
Clyde is wondering if you have any tips on kerning, and if, I mean, in general, like how he should know how close certain letters should be to one another.
I think it's about the feeling.
Hmm.
I can't really describe it because different typefaces have their different, their different spacing. If you have a very thin, compressed typeface and you leave a little bit of space in between, you will already have just a little bit of space will be already enough to kind of bring the letters apart so that it's really well readable.
Mm-hmm.
Here we have a very thick typeface,
Mm-hmm.
so a little bit more white space between the letters helps you read it.
Cool. And we did the look back test where we zoomed out a little bit.
Yeah,
And we
exactly.
made sure you could read it from far away.
Exactly. You can even read it from here,
Mm-hmm.
this far. Whereas this typeface here is a little bit more difficult to read. Now,
Yeah.
if I increase the kerning here a little bit, then it will be easier to read, as you can see.
Yeah. Nice.
Now compared to the other one, right?
Yeah, exactly, Karen. It's kind of like the squint test.
Yeah,
Squint your eyes,
you can do that too, yeah.
try and figure out if it works.
It helps. Generally, I think if you take this space here around the whole logo, the space of black and of white should be 50-50.
Hmm.
So you take this space in between the letters, you try to kind of like put it together into one square, and if you had two squares of black and white, they should be just the same size,
Nice.
if that's understandable.
Totally.
Okay. So yeah, I think that's like the basic graphic design rule that they use.
It's amazing how much math is in graphic design. Even though, you know,
Yes.
that you say, oh, it's a feeling, you know, experiment until it looks right. At the end of the day, a lot of it's math.
And also, it depends on the color that you're presenting the typeface in, because if you have black and white, it's the highest contrast, but if you have yellow on white, you have to even think about it more, how this will be readable. I would try to avoid yellow on white, of course, but sometimes, you know, colors create a different way of seeing the contrast or seeing the space between the letters. So yeah, it always
Cool.
depends.
That's a good point. Colors are important. And right now, obviously, we're in black and white, but we do have some colors we're going to play with eventually.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm trying to stay in black and white as long as we're designing the shapes, because it makes it just very easy to comprehend, you know, how it looks from far. Yeah, the contrast just helps a lot.
Cool. Emmanuel shared a link in chat for a game to help you improve your kerning. So
Okay.
it was
that'll be
approved by
cool.
Tim, which means it's probably a legitimate link. And
I
Julia,
think
you
I've
try
made
that
that test once. Yeah, I've done it.
I've done the, yeah, thanks for sharing. I've done the Pathfinder, not Pathfinder, the Path Tool game. You can find it online at different places, and the challenge is to create different shapes with the Path Tool and a certain number of lines.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Sounds very interesting.
Or Pin Tool, I should say.
Okay, so I'm creating this little kind of stampy shape. Let's see how this is gonna go. I wanna have a little bit of playfulness in this.
A little bit of fun.
A little bit of fun. Yeah.
That sounds fun. Let's do it.
Let's see. I would like a little wave in it. So I'm trying to, here, I think it's here. Zigzag. Yeah, right there.
Nice.
So, preview. Don't be scared. This is not it yet.
Ooh.
This is not it yet. And then we choose smooth. And then we have this perfect wave.
Bingo.
So,
Squigglies are always fun.
yeah, I like this. Maybe a little smaller. Yeah, kind of something like that.
Yeah, I like the shallow.
Kind of something like that.
You're making a beautiful home for this rosemary logo.
Oh yeah, with little curtains.
I love it. Excuse me.
Okay, I'm gonna work on the zigzag because I would like it to end on this side, just like it does here. So I'm gonna increase the ridges to 11. So it's in like that, bam. And then
Nice.
I'm gonna
See,
take
I'm
the
telling you,
same-
it's all math.
Yeah, right?
You're a mathematician.
Okay, and then I'm gonna go to reflect.
It's our favorite tool.
Oh, actually, I don't think it reflects because it's not a shape. I'm just gonna reflect it like this.
Cool.
All right. Now let's match this to this line. Yeah, so it kind of connects a little bit, but
great.
not quite.
I can picture that as actually being like a stamp. You'd like put on a piece of paper, or like if you ordered flowers from Rosemary and you had a card
Yeah.
with it, there'd be a stamp on the envelope or something.
Yeah, and now that's the goal to kind of try different lockups, how the logo can be used, and this typeface. So this could be, for example, number 1 right here. This could be number 2. And then we can also try and make this, our little flower symbol, stand by itself. And just make it a little house as well.
Nice. Karen says that the shape that you made around the logo looks kind of like a flower basket.
Yeah, there we go. We can interpret a lot of things in that, huh?
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Pretty cool. That's a great point, Karen.
Yeah.
Also, just a quick reminder, we are going to be giving some design feedback in less than 13 minutes.
Awesome.
Your designs don't have to be complete by any means. We're just going to go into the Photoshop Discord and check out what's been shared in there. It can totally be a work in progress, and then provide some feedback. And hopefully you can use that feedback to improve your designs.
Yeah. So when you're using something like this in a circle, it's always good to have this the logo in the middle, in the perfect middle. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna group the flower, because if I center the flower like this, it will look like that. And that's not what we want. So we wanna group it, Command and G, and then we pick the circle and we select the circle as the key object.
Cool.
And we just center it right here. Bam,
Nice.
with the align tool. And now it's in the perfect middle.
That's awesome.
So that could be one. And then we can also just use the typeface by itself. So these are all brand elements, right? We have the logo, which is the typeface. We have this little flower that we can reuse in patterns. And we have this thin line that's either a circle or a shape like this.
Have you ever handed off like brand assets and some logos and things to a client that then took them and like combined things and used them in ways that you didn't intend? Has that happened to you before?
Well, I think experimenting kind of helps in that case. So anything that's a different arrangement than planned, it's great.
Okay, cool. I feel like sometimes a designer might think like, oh no, like I wanted it to be like this, but then they took it and they're like, I like this typeface and this logo, and they just start mash things together, you know?
That's what you mean, that the client kind of played
Yeah,
around.
they kind of take the assets and then they make their own thing out of it.
Yeah, that's why it's very important to have a brand guideline file or book.
Yeah.
So bigger companies have every little thing in their brand guideline book. So every little thing has, like this, for example, if I would say this thing here, this flower here, it has to be in a certain size, has to have a certain thickness. So for example, the client could take this this part here, and it's a vector form, right? So if I just try to show you how the client could use it, the client could use it like this.
Yep.
And that would be something completely different. It doesn't have the same ratio between, you know, the line thickness, and the proportion is just off. So it's always important to give brand guidelines for the client.
That's really good. That's smart. I've never handed off designs before, but I feel like that would personally bug me if I handed off some things and then it got
For
used
sure.
in unintended ways that represented my design work, but not fully my design work.
Yeah. To avoid this disproportional scaling, I outlined the shapes. So right now we have this vector. It's not really a shape yet. It's just a line.
Mm-hmm.
So to make it a shape, we go to Object, Path, and Outline Stroke.
Nice.
And now we have a shape, really.
Cool.
So now, if we scale this up, the proportion would not get, distracted.
Cool. So you can kind of baby-proof it a little bit.
Yeah. And also, if I make it smaller, the lines don't get too thick.
Yeah. Super cool.
That could be one variation of the logo.
Richard has a question for you.
Sure.
Richard is currently working for an in-house company.
Mm-hmm.
I guess scroll back to it because chat just moved and I lost it. Okay, working for an in-house company, created a logo and brochures, etc.
Mm-hmm.
And he's wondering if he can use these on his Behance portfolio to help promote his freelance work, or does that work belong to his company?
It's always fixed by the contract that you have with the company. So when I've been working with agencies for brands like Panda Express or Jameson Whiskey, of course you cannot publish the work before they do. What I, for example, do is I publish the work when it's already online anyway.
Yeah.
You can take the images that the company posted. Then they're officially, open to the public and anybody can publish them. So that's when you're actually, when they cannot say anything to you. But if you publish work that hasn't been published yet or is in progress or is in production, it has to be fixed by contract. So you can, I think there's a form that you can make the company sign to allow you publishing the work, or you can just read the contract on which you're working, where it should be fixed if you're allowed or not allowed to publish.
Yep.
But I will be very careful with that. I would definitely make sure that you're allowed to publish it. Yeah.
Especially if you're in-house. I'll just only add, if you're an in-house employee of a company and you're creating work as an employee on company time, any of the work that you do technically belongs to that company.
Yeah.
And so before you go and use it for, your own personal projects or freelance, you should definitely get clearance. At least that's my personal opinion.
I think so too, yeah.
Otherwise, you might get into some areas you don't really want to be in.
Yeah. I have one little tip for shapes like this. So I've built this from 2 halves of a circle, but you can also just use the rounded rectangle tool and then just adjust the corners to the center. Yeah.
Wow, you just blew my mind.
So my aim right now is to make a dark version of the stamp logo. So basically I'm gonna put a dark background and bring all the inside shapes in white. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna outline stroke of all the shapes inside.
Cool.
And then I'm gonna reverse this in black. And now I'm gonna make all of these white.
Hey.
Bam.
Nice. I love that.
So we have a black and white version of this. And we can use this for different purposes again, right? This can be, for example, a sticker that you put on the flower bouquet when you're closing the paper, It can be different.
Yeah, it kind of looks a little like, when you buy fruit at the grocery store and there's like that little sticker sometimes on the apple or the orange.
Yeah, true.
This could be like that, but for flowers.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is neat.
And the cool thing is I've already made some mock-ups. And tomorrow we're gonna be really mocking those up and it will come to life, you will be able to really imagine how the brand looks.
I also got a sneak peek of some of the photos that Julia took.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I can show
mock-up photos.
I can show you the photos that are not edited yet, so you will see. It's just pictures that I took, and
get ready, they're sweet.
Let's see. I have to find. Okay, we can go on to
Look
this
at
one.
this.
For example, this could be like a gift card that you're sending to somebody. This is supposed to be a packaging for the powder that they send to keep the flowers fresh. And there can be a little message inside, like a message in the bottle. So,
It's the little things, the little details.
The little details, yeah.
That's wonderful.
And
that's rosemary in the background, right?
That's not rosemary, actually.
No?
that's some kind of other plant, but it does look like rosemary a little bit. Yeah, you're right. So I'm gonna edit those. I'm gonna make sure that stuff like this does not exist. I'm gonna make the shapes a little bit more smooth and the background less blue. Just, basic retouching work.
Cool.
And then we're gonna mock those up. And we have, for example, business cards here that we're gonna be making.
Nice.
And it just looks more realistic if you take the pictures,
And you said this was your first time taking
Yeah, it actually was, yeah.
mock-up photos.
Yeah.
Which is really amazing. So anyone watching, obviously you have to have
it's not
the
difficult
camera for it, but actually, to be honest, a lot of our phones nowadays can take photos that are good enough for a mock-up.
Yeah, for example, this one I think already looks pretty good except for little details here. I'll have to remove some of the things. And the background, of course, has to be more white here. But all in all, this looks pretty minimalistic, and I think this will be a good way to mock it up. I'll also remove the brand here, but that tomorrow. Tomorrow.
And we're also tomorrow going to play with dimension a little bit.
Yes, exactly. So we're not only gonna mock things up in Photoshop, but also in Dimension. We're gonna put the logo on the mug or on the bag, different things that we can find there. We'll see.
Cool, I can't wait to see that.
Yay! I'm so excited. This is coming along better than I thought.
Great.
When you're coming to the stream, you never know what's gonna be. So it's always a surprise.
I super appreciate, and I think all the viewers really appreciate coming in without like a specific agenda and kind of experimenting like you did. It takes some courage, and it can be a little nerve-wracking, but you come up with something that's really new, and you've had fun with it, and people have seen your exploration.
Do you remember the shapes that we started with?
Yeah, I love it.
It's funny, right?
I still love the slime.
It's really funny.
So good.
But that's how it starts. You just experiment, and don't be discouraged by weird-looking shapes in the beginning. But it's all coming.
Yeah, imagine if we stopped on your first shape.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
We wouldn't have this, that's for sure. And we wouldn't have had fun with the squiggly lines.
Yeah, for sure. I want to make them go a little bit more into the center because right now they're sticking out to the sides a little bit. So I'm trying to reflect them.
Cool. Do you ever use like a line or a guide to like make sure things are in line? Like, would you ever bring in, I don't know, something?
Usually I use the alignment tool that we have. For example, if I want to make sure that this is all centered, which I didn't, or maybe I did, I'm just aligning those things. See? It was not aligned yet, so let's see. Let's make sure that this is all centered here. Bam.
Nice.
Actually, to not move this shape, we are clicking on it a second time. So it's the key shape, meaning that everything will be aligned towards the shape. So now, only the center parts are moving, the shape stays there.
Cool. So if you double click on something, it becomes the key shape.
Well, I first select them all, and then I just do one more click on this shape.
Nice.
And it becomes the key object.
Cool. That's a great tip.
Yeah, many of those things I learned by doing. I've worked for this agency, and I haven't been using those tools before, and my boss will come up to me and will be like, is this aligned? Is this center aligned? Yeah, I think
Now it is.
that's the things that you learn in design school. But since I didn't go to graphic design school, it's not something that I'm familiar with. So I'm just designing. When I started designing, my graphics looked awful. I was really bad in the beginning, but then I learned my tools, and you just become better.
It's totally practice. Nobody starts off amazing at anything.
That's true.
You just have to practice, and oftentimes the people that you look at, that you admire, that you want to model your work after started off in the same spot.
Exactly.
Not knowing at all what they were doing.
Exactly.
My belly's rumbling. Skip lunch. Just heads up, we have 15 seconds left before we're going to be doing some design reviews.
Yeah, I can
We'll
wait
give
to
you
do that.
like, maybe another minute or two to make sure that you wrap up what you're working on
Mm-hmm.
and put any finishing touches on it, or make sure you export something that's work in progress, share it to the Photoshop Discord, and then we'll go in there and give some feedback here very shortly.
Yeah, I can't wait to animate this. I'm gonna do a little animation with the leaves.
Whoa, cool. What are you
hopefully,
thinking?
hopefully I can do it by tomorrow. Maybe that they open.
Nice.
Maybe this will be the key point here,
Yeah,
that they will be turning around.
cool.
Or maybe that they will be turning. I don't know. Let's see. Or maybe it will go from black to white. So the contrast will be the opposite.
Nice.
That's what I'm gonna do right now, right here. Okay,
I didn't know you were
let's-
going to animate it. I'm super excited now.
Yeah.
That's awesome. We have one question for you, so I think
Sure.
maybe we can tackle that, and then we'll do our design feedback.
Yeah.
Emmanuel is wondering how you got your first job.
My first job.
I guess let's say design job, because we probably have all
My
worked.
first design job. So for the first years of my career, I've been working as a freelancer. So I've been basically helping businesses grow with design, because I think design is a very strong tool that can really help people with any kind of business. So I started off working for my mom. I started working for my mom's friends. I
Cool.
started working for my own friends. And that's how I basically learned many, many things. And when you're working with your mom, you're allowed to make mistakes, That's a good thing. You can be sure that, that it doesn't have a bad effect on you, or nobody will judge you. But in any case, design can be very beneficial for any kind of business. So I would start with small businesses if you're just starting freelancing. And I think the most important thing is to really make sure that people know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because many people don't know that you're a designer if you're not publishing anything, or if you're not communicating it. So when I started doing work for my mom, her friends noticed that the brand of her medical school, she has a medical school, my whole family is in medicine. I'm the only one who's went the other direction. But her school started winning popularity because the designs were more appealing, and she started doing more advertisement and going out on social media. So that definitely helps growing a business. And that's where I started. And then other people came who also needed something done. Yeah.
That's awesome. It seems like when you first start out, like having some type of presence is really important. And then like just word of mouth, right? Like your
Yeah.
mom talked to her friends, they talk to each other, and then before you know it, you actually have a stream of work.
Yeah, exactly.
And the whole time you're building up a portfolio and projects that you can show to people that aren't in that circle.
Exactly.
It kind of builds off of itself.
Correct.
Cool. Eric says he said no to his mom because she wouldn't pay him.
Oh, my mom didn't pay me neither.
Sometimes you have to do work for people.
My mom didn't pay me, but she bought me groceries.
That's awesome. I would do that. Trade.
No, our family, my family is very business oriented, so I grew up with making business, and I think I've learned a lot from my mom, being a business person. She did it the hard way. She learned it all by herself.
As a designer too, like half of it or more is knowing how to run a business.
Correct. Exactly.
The design skills are important, but you have to know how to run a business to keep it alive.
Yeah, that's why many designers are working for an employer, because they just don't know how to, promote their business. But Chutzpah Design has a great book on business, design business and freelance and things.
I can pull that up.
Or something like that. I recently got that. It's pretty cool. They've been here on the stream as well, Chutzpah Design, the two sisters.
My belly's going nuts.
Don't worry, it's okay. Yeah, exactly. This one is really good, and there is a bunch of insights into how to create
Join
freelance.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's cool. And when you get the packages, actually, if you click on the
Ta-da.
you get a bunch of cool stuff with it. So yeah, I recommend it.
It's really neat, and they are good friends of ours, so feel free to check that out. So with the time, not all of the time we have left, but we do want to take a second to review some designs that have been shared in Discord. This is the Photoshop Discord. it's part and parcel with the Daily Creative Challenge. So we're going to be reviewing Daily Creative Challenge designs. Let me show you that real quick. This is the Photoshop Daily Creative Challenge, and today is our second challenge. So the challenge was to design a business card with custom text using Liquify and warp filters. If you are just discovering the challenges, or if you haven't signed up yet, you can click this blue button. You'll get notifications. So with that, let's go to the Discord. Oh yeah, and you can join the Discord by clicking this button for community chat, or down at the bottom here, you can join the Discord. It'll take you to a landing page, and then you just join up. So with that, let's review some designs that have been shared in the current challenge channel. This is a business card designed by Netbug.
Adams and Abigail.
And feel free to give some feedback. I'll chime in when I can, but I think I'm gonna lean on your expertise for these ones.
I think it's a great color combination. It seems like some very elegant business concept. I like the sans serif that you've used here. Maybe the only thing that I would do is take Adams and Abigail a little bit apart, so it's better readable, and kind of still connected with the end, but make it a little bit, take it a little bit more apart, I would say.
Okay.
Or
cool.
maybe what you can also do is pick a lighter color for the pink, so it creates a bigger contrast to the black.
I think if it were lighter, this would feel a little less busy.
Yeah.
I think like the pink and the black, it's a little hard to read, especially right here for me. You lose all of the white space in the A and the B.
Yeah,
so.
But I really like the approach that you're trying to play with layers, that you're creating this layer of pink and then the layer of black. I think if you would offset print this business card, it will look great.
Cool. For people that don't know, what is offset print?
Offset print basically prints color by color.
Okay.
So, so first you would print the pink layer, and then you will print the black layer on top.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, that would be looking great. And also you could play with textures. Adams and Abigail could be, for example, glossy. And if you leave the end matte and Adams and Abigail glossy, it will be easier to read, for example, on the business card.
Smart. I love that. It's great feedback. So thank you for sharing that bug. We'll move on to the next one by Jay Lewis. I'll zoom in here a little bit.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love how this gold texture is already applied, and it looks really cool.
Yeah, I like it too.
What does it say?
So it says Jay Lewis, and then I think it's their Instagram.
Lewis-cent.
Let me zoom in here. I don't.
Jay Lewis-cent. Okay, this is a bit difficult to read because it's a bit distorted.
So the challenge was to do Liquify and warp filter, so I think that's why it was done.
Yeah.
But maybe not on that part.
Okay, I think maybe I would, first of all, I would leave a little bit more kerning between the letters, more space between the letters, so it will make it more better readable. Then I think the background image also plays a big role because it has those gold tones in it as well. So the contrast between the gold and this the photo that you took in the background is pretty low, so it makes it very difficult to read. So maybe I'll turn down a little bit on the what was it called?
Liquify and
Liquifying,
warp. Yeah. Actually, you know what Jose just mentioned, that it actually says a J. Lewis joint, which I think is probably J. Lewis's Instagram handle. So actually what might be cool is if this were just, instead of J. Lewis, if it said a J. Lewis joint, and then the back was just this picture.
Yeah.
It might be kind of like, it would say the same thing.
Yeah.
You would still be able to use the gold and some of the techniques.
Yeah. There's definitely a possibility to that.
Just a suggestion, but I really like it. I think
it's really cool. I think this mock-up is also amazing.
Yeah, I think so too.
It's really nice.
It's really stylish.
Yeah, good job.
Okay, let's move on to the next one. Okay, here we go. This was done by Snow E. So we have two here.
Snow E.
We have this and this. So this is what they placed on the actual
cool.
mock-up.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I like this texture. It almost
So nice.
it almost feels like it's a thick layer of paint or something.
Uh-huh.
I like the colors. It reminds me a little bit of, you know, when you have those suits and you want to hide in nature. What's it called again?
Oh, like a ghillie suit or
Ghillie
like
yeah.
camouflage?
Yeah, camouflage. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It almost reminds me of that, and I think it's really cool that this logo with the tree is also very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
White on this background. Yeah, it's just
It's really neat.
the way you put the information. I would expect some text on the background, maybe
Mm-hmm.
some more information.
Yeah,
Since
that would be nice.
yeah, maybe like a phone number or name or something like that in that same white tone.
Yeah, that's a great suggestion.
I think it's really cool. Maybe I would decrease the size of your handle a little bit, but otherwise it's really cool. It's different.
Yeah, maybe
I have
give
not
it a
seen.
little more breathing room here.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe a little bit more. Yeah.
Mhm. I love here how it feels like paper, like a paper cutout or something. Like there's a lot of depth in this camouflage. So
It's definitely very interesting.
yeah, it's wonderful. I love
Good
the
job.
texture too. Nice job, Snowy.
Yay.
Okay, we'll do a couple more. Here we go. Piece of Jessie. All right.
Ooh,
Nice.
Van Gogh.
Starry Night. It's very nice.
Jesse, I love the way you put the typeface. Is that a typeface or is it something that you drew yourself? It looks really cool and very interesting.
Yeah, Jessie, if you're watching, let us know.
Yeah. I also love how on the backside, for putting the text, the information in, you left it just black. So it's really easy to read. And I think you've done a really good job.
Yeah. I love this touch right here. It feels like there's a lot of weight up top with the Starry Night, and it's kind of dropping these little, almost like it's raining.
It's like a transition into that
Yeah.
black.
I think it's really nice.
I like it too.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Great work. Thanks for sharing.
Thank you.
And looks like we are, okay, so this is the thumbnail for the project, which I think we can skip because we're going to review
Yeah.
the business cards today.
Dynamic design code. Definitely
Nice.
looks very dynamic.
Yeah.
Cool. There is a little black parts in the word dynamic. Maybe you can make them less black and more the earthy yellowish tones. So it creates a contrast to the black background. It will make it easier to read.
I think that's a great tip. I also, this is very small and it's not design related, but I would just remove this last slash on the Instagram. You technically don't need it, and it would then line up more easily with the dribble.
True. Yeah, that's true. And I like the way you put the type. It's very simple, sans serif, very easy to read.
I like how it's all uppercase on the front and then everything's lowercase on the back. I think that's a nice touch.
Yeah, love it.
Yeah, great
job.
work. Okay, let's see what else we can get to. Amanda JH.
Cool. There is definitely
Nice.
a lot of play in the typeface. Really good job. What I would do maybe for the sake of readability is to leave a bit more space between Amanda and JH, because at the moment I'm reading Amanda J H. So yeah.
Cool, that's a good tip. I like how the
I
front
like
just seems so businessy. Like this is like, seems like typewriter style.
Yeah.
And then the back is kind of like playful. So you can kind of tell right away that like, if you flip the card over, you're like, oh, this is probably this is a creative person,
Yeah, for sure.
which is kind of nice.
Looks very creative.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Great job, Amanda.
Awesome.
Okay, this will be our last one, and then we'll get back into your work and then
Yay.
wrap up for the day.
Okay, cool.
Okay, this is Joshua in the Wild.
Oh, I love it. It almost it reminds me of a movie poster. Joshua in the Wild.
I love it too.
Do you know the movie Into the Wild?
I do. This
I love
reminds
it.
me of that.
Yeah. And it really has a mood to it because it's this gray tones with a lot of fog. It looks very cold and foggy and foresty. It has a suddenly this wildness mood for sure.
Yeah, I really love it. I mean, this could be a Tackle Boys card right here.
Yeah.
It's great. It's got good vibes, I think.
Yeah, I love it. I also love that you put the contact almost like a photo, you know? It's almost like the typeface is cut into a photo.
Yeah, I agree. I like how there were effects added to Joshua in a while, but it's still legible.
It's still very legible, yeah.
Which is pretty great. So great job, Joshua.
Yeah, awesome.
All right, so that's it for us. We have another daily creative challenge going live first thing tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. So there's going to be a new challenge and new work shared in the Discord, so make sure you come back for that.
Yeah.
And we're going to pop back to Julia's screen and finish up what she was working on before wrapping up the day.
Okay, yeah, if you guys want to send more of those designs to review, I'll be online on Discord later on as well, so I can maybe give you some feedback if you like.
Awesome, that would be great.
Just mention me, and then I'll know, okay.
Yeah. You can Julia and then find her.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I'm actually pretty satisfied with this at the moment. We have a variety of lockups. We have our little flower as a, by itself. I think it works pretty well. And then with our typeface, that's still dominant, but not, too much. This lockup can be used for a website, for example. You know how they put the logo on the side, because it's also aligned on the left side as well. So that could work. That we can use for our flower shop collateral, paper, stickers, bag.
Maybe that vial that you have too.
Yeah.
Just an idea.
Yeah, and I'm definitely gonna be using this typeface to create our cards and all of that stuff. So this typeface we'll definitely keep in mind.
Great. You want to show them quickly like where we started too, just in case they're curious?
It's funny. We started here with Mary, and then we went into our colors, and we went into these typefaces, and we went into these super weird shapes.
The best. Super
weird. So from here, we went to this.
Yes.
Isn't that cool? Yeah. So I'm very satisfied with the result. The thing what we can do right now is maybe try. How many minutes do we have left?
We have about 10 minutes, a little less than 10 minutes.
Let's try the colors.
Cool. That sounds great.
Let's get into the colors.
And we can save a little bit at the end too to wrap up and again let them know what we're working on tomorrow and things like that.
Sure. Let's do that. Okay, cool. Let's start with this guy here. I'm gonna group them all just so it's easier to drag and drop them.
I feel like you've used grouping more than Control-Z, which is good. That means you haven't made very many mistakes.
Well, I've made mistakes. I just moved away from them.
I should call them happy accidents.
I'm just moving away from them. I'm leaving them. And
don't show me the slime.
Yeah, exactly. I'm moving from the top left corner to the bottom right corner. So this is where the end results will be, right?
Is this your stream of consciousness?
Yeah, exactly.
Moving down the page.
It's funny because actually that's the way we're reading, right? From left to right. And you can see the progress like that.
That's fun. How big is your artboard, your space that you created here? It looks pretty big.
It is pretty big because usually what I do is I create an artboard that I can later on slice and put into my Behance.
Oh, nice.
So later on I will rearrange these and I will start with a logo in the beginning. You know how a Behance project looks like?
That's a really good tip. So you're designing on something that you can already reuse.
Exactly. Exactly. It's a personal project, so I'm going to be using it for Behance. Oh, by the way, I've started a series of monthly branding projects.
Cool.
The last one that I've had is Galaxy Unseen, is a packaging project for a cosmetics firm.
Nice.
Yeah, so
I'll show that. I'll show your Behance and everything once we're ready to wrap up.
Yeah,
and encourage everyone to follow you and check out your projects.
Let's do that. Okay, let's try the colors. These are the colors that we picked. Oops.
Karen, it is our pleasure. Thanks for joining us. She says, thank you both. You're fun to watch and very talented.
Oh, thank you so much.
And Stone says, wonderful to both of you, Julia and Gus. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I think people are learning a lot. And thank you for the wonderful feedback.
Yeah, thanks guys. I'm really excited to have you all here from all over the place.
Yeah.
Watch me work. It's always fun. As you can see,
I love the colors. It looks so good.
Yeah, right? The color gives it a little pop.
Yep.
As you can see, the white on the light pink is not enough contrast, but we will change that. That's why we have the darker color here, so we can keep up the contrast. Okay, so here, now let's change this one to the dark blue.
Nice.
And now we have Yeah, I think it's a great
That
color
looks
combination.
really cool.
I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
Okay, let's try the next one. That will be this guy here. Move it down. Outline. Make sure everything's outlined. Outline stroke. And then we can do the colors again. And I also like to put the colors on different background colors.
Mm-hmm.
So for example, if we have this dark blue, we can move it.
Oh, smart.
that. You know, so you have a little bit of contrast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That could be a sticker as well, for example.
This is so cool to watch come to life.
I know, I'm really
I'm
excited
ready
myself.
I'm ready to go brand some stuff.
Yeah, right. Okay, and now we can do the opposite.
Midafit likes the colors.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, the colors page, the colors.adobe.com is really cool for inspiration.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I just take pictures from that I see on Behance or on Pinterest. I just look up the pictures and then you can just, you know, take the color palette from there.
It's super smart. And I think it's kind of like, I don't know if you like write for a show or if you try to like capture ideas, if you do those on the fly every day, whenever you're feeling inspired, whenever you want to capture a color palette, do it. And then at the end of a week or a month, you have so much material to pull from.
Exactly.
You just can, you know, use it in any way you want.
That is so true.
Hey Jan, thanks for joining. Good to see you. Jan Eric is probably my oldest live streaming friend.
Oh, wow.
He has been watching Adobe Live since 2015.
Cool.
Tried and true.
Okay.
Okay, so we have about 4 minutes left.
Okay,
maybe
so
we
you see
wrap
the
up-
idea. Yeah, let's wrap it up. You see the idea. I'm just applying to the colors to the black and white logos that we have.
Mm-hmm.
So tomorrow we can mock this all up and we can put those on our different collateral that we prepared. We're gonna go into dimensions, so make sure to stay around, and I'm gonna show my little tips and tricks on how to put the lighting and how to, you know, make
3D
it
models.
cool.
We
Yeah.
haven't done that in like, I don't know, at least half of a year. So we're excited to have Dimension on the live stream tomorrow. Before we go, I want to show everyone your Behance page
Sure.
and show them your Instagram so they know where to follow you and how to reach out. So you can find Julia on Behance. This is her URL up here. You can
46DF.
type that in, Julia 460DF.
I think I should be also featured next to the chat
Yeah.
in the info.
Yep, I can show you that.
Yeah, that's easier
Right
probably
here
instead of
on the info tab, you can go ahead and follow
Inception.
Julia. So just check this out. She's got some amazing projects
That's
here.
the last one, Galaxy NC, and
This
it's
is the
all
one.
rendered in Dimension. So all this packaging I've done in Illustrator. This is some animation that I've done.
You're a pro.
By the way, it takes a long time to make this kind of animation because you have to render every single picture. I think it was 21 pictures.
Wow.
And then I adjusted the lighting and I turned the object. So
It's awesome. So we're going to see a little bit more about how she does this tomorrow
Yeah.
and creates all of her beautiful projects. So make sure to follow her here. You can also find her on Instagram.
Just another sunny girl. Follow me. Usually I'm posting a lot of like process work when I'm working on something. You can write to me if you have any
You
questions.
can get notified when she's on Adobe Live.
Exactly, or just I'm ready to help whenever I can.
Yes.
Just
And I have one quick PSA real quick. The creative residency is open right now.
oh yeah.
And they are looking for creatives to work on a passion project for the next year.
For a whole year.
Applications close next week, I think on Wednesday, and they might extend that, but they might not. I just want to make sure everybody knows that if you're watching and you're a creative and you're looking to just dive into a personal project for a year, you can apply to this program. If you get it, you'll be paid a salary for a year to work on whatever you decide to work on, and Adobe will equip you with all the resources you need to find success.
Yeah,
And
it can
that's
be
mentors.
Yeah, it can be illustration, photography, UX, UI. It can be any kind of graphic design. Julia Sanduski, I think she's working on an environmental project, how to reduce waste, and she's also creating graphics, regarding to that. I think it's also very interesting to check out the work of the current residents to get an idea of
Totally.
what they're doing.
Yep, so you can find out about how the residency works here, you can figure out how to apply here, and then there's also some bits about the current residents down towards the bottom
Yeah.
as you scroll down. So just peruse the page. If you're inspired, you should totally apply. They're looking for people just like you, so please check that out. And with that, that's all we've got today.
Yay, I'm looking forward to tomorrow.
Thank you everyone for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow. We'll be live again at 12 p.m. Pacific time until 2 p.m. So
See you guys
thanks,
later.
and great job, Julia.
Thank you.